Welcome back. The South African netball team is gearing up for a crucial match this afternoon against defending champions, that is New Zealand, in the 2023 Netball World Cup. With their semi-final hopes hanging in the balance, the Proteas are looking to secure a crucial victory this afternoon against the formidable New Zealand side. Proteas goal shooter Nicole Taljaard is confident that they can overcome the opponent despite the tough task ahead of them. Let's now speak to our SABC Sports reporter, Lebohang Dude. Lebohang, good afternoon. Thank you so much for making time for us. Well, we saw Banyana gave us a win there, and I wonder whether the Proteas netball team will be able to keep up with a winning streak. Good morning.
Morning, Elgin. And I think, the Proteas really need to win this one this afternoon for them to continue in the tournament. But a big one, isn't it, for both nations, New Zealand and both and together with the Proteas, both nations, they do need to win this afternoon. A tough task really for the Proteas netball team, playing against the defending champions, as you mentioned. But with how they've played, quite interesting that they've really been able to manage to win 3 of the 4 matches and losing against one of the giants in the netball game, Jamaica, and this afternoon again, playing against a team that has been formidable. They've gone on to win all their matches, and this afternoon I'm sure the New Zealanders will be hoping that they continue with their good form. And just to speak more about today's game, I'm joined by a former player and our resident analyst, Nicole Taljaard. And just to talk about today's match and how we can see the both nations playing or challenging each other out this afternoon. Nicole, thanks for joining us. Quite a tough one for both nations. They've both played fairly well. Unfortunate for the Proteas, obviously losing against Jamaica, which has really had a huge impact. Going into today's match, what can we expect?
Yeah, thank you very much, Lebo. Yes, definitely we're going into now starting the business end of this tournament, and both teams are really looking to come out with a win from today, because that will sort of solidify the next step into them making that semi-final. Both teams still have one other match. Jamaica still to play New Zealand, and Uganda still to play the Proteas. So both matches very, very integral in terms of what we can look forward to on who's going to be in that semi-final. Both tough matches. I think both teams are, Proteas are coming in with a loss, so I think they'll be more fired up to really prove what they can do, because in the Jamaica game, the first, second and fourth quarter were probably one of our best quarters. We won that last quarter against Jamaica. It was that third quarter that really bruised our chances at winning that game. So I think they're going to, they went back to the drawing board. They're going to come back in now having solidified what went wrong in that game. So I do look forward to it being a really, really close encounter.
And when you look at the two teams, obviously they've suffered huge blows in terms of injury. New Zealand losing Grace, the Proteas losing Lanise, but they've gone on to play without the 2 key players. But today's match, I guess that's where it would have counted more, having the 2 goal shooters. I mean, do you think it would have really a huge impact on the performance of the 2 teams this evening?
Well, I think if you look at the New Zealand side, Grace Nweke was a massive target for New Zealand in the you can't coach height, and I think that was their strength in that shooting circle. But I mean, to have someone on the bench like Maya Wilson with the experience and coming on against Wales to shoot at 100%, I mean, as a coach you couldn't ask for anything more. This is something that Auntie Knowles has said, that this is what they train for. She's got depth in her squad, and these are the systems that they've worked on. On the Proteas side, I think what we lose in Lanise is just the experience. She is obviously playing overseas. She started off at the Adelaide Thunderbirds in Australia, now playing for Manchester Thunder in the Super League over there, and that experience is invaluable. You can see the top 4 teams that are competing in this World Cup are ones that are playing overseas in domestic leagues in Australia, New Zealand, or the UK. So it is invaluable what she brings. But I think Ina Marie Fenter can come in. She showed that she can do it in that last quarter that we played against Jamaica, a quarter that we did win. So yes, we've got the depth. It just depends which team actually shows up today.
And just to wrap up quickly in just 20 seconds, the key matchups this afternoon.
I think Whitney Sooners versus Bongi Msomi if she plays centre, or Jante Stradom, the newbie who's actually, I think, 6th in intercepts overall stats for the World Cup. Looking at her against a Whitney Sooners or Gina Crampton, depending who Auntie Noel starts with.
Ginelo, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Elgin, there you have it. Ginelo Khasi being able to break it down for us in terms of what we can expect this evening. The Proteas New Zealand, quite an important match for both nations, and hopefully the Proteas prevail after Banyana making history down under against Italy in the FIFA Women's World Cup.